right. I cannot see. Okay. Let me share my screen. All right, so this is a pretty cool what do you call it? Topic. So I was reading the book and I was listening to some Jim Quick for the philosophy, which is it's from the book The Slight Edge. So it's really good. It's applicable for us, especially with the dialing and the calls. So first off, because of this, we've already created the dials, and our team are going to specifically run the dial team, the Join Elite dials. I felt like a lot of people would go in it and not go in it, and the reason why is because it's just empty, and nobody's really taking the full follow through on it. And so I made it a commitment now for me specifically. As soon as I drop off my kid on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm just going to be here directly at 8 a.m. on dial days at Mondays and Thursdays. So if there's anybody if you guys have downlines or people on the team, we need that close to the fire type of environment in our own little dial sessions instead of joining others, right? Because our specific team, I feel like we're missing that camaraderie with it. And then this is one of the things that could be a solution for it. And what better way to do it when we have the top producers and our producers training our team instead of funneling our downlines to someone else. Hey, go learn from them, go here or there. And then we can't even give constructive criticism when they're dialing, right? So that's the new thing. We're going to do dials on Mondays and Thursdays it's optional still, but yeah, if anybody's dialing on Mondays and Thursdays, plug in, be open about it so that we can create our own camaraderie from it. And this is going to lead into the philosophy of it and why we're doing this. The changing philosophies applying it to making phone calls, right? So the book is A Slight Edge, and man, I just read the first chapter, but it's really good. So if you guys don't have the book, read the chapter. So he said the secret ingredient. Oh, also, I added it on. I took a picture of it, 3 main pages with the main ingredient. I have the summary, the cliff notes, but if you guys want to read it, it's 3 main pages in there. I put it on the Google Drive on the meetings folder. I thought it came out nice when I took a picture, but I guess it looks a little blurry. I don't know. Does it look blurry to you guys, or is legible? It's good enough. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this is the main bullet point. I'm just gonna you guys can read it, but I'm gonna go over the main topics because sometimes they will over elaborate. So what was happening, and a lot of these self-help books always come around, it's always like a 50-50 response to them. They have people that like had a life-changing altering emotions, and then people got it and didn't do it jack with it. So same thing with motivational speeches, like convention. You get a juice of hype, you get a good mojo, but something doesn't click right away. Something eventually fades out when you have a little bit of an emotional boost. And so the secret ingredient was what he was saying is your philosophy about it. Okay, so it's changing the way you think about the simple everyday things. Because if you don't change the way you think about how you do these things, then no amount of how-tos, no amount of secrets, magic word tracks will get you anywhere or give you any true solutions. So the focus is not about just the actions of like, okay, here's the dials, here's the rebuttals, here's the response to it. What you got to focus on is focusing on your attitude behind those actions. So you can adjust your attitudes temporarily through motivational pep talks, but it's not going to last because your emotions will change. You're going to go high and low with your emotional roller coaster. But understanding the philosophy from that's going to allow you to understand the attitude behind those actions. So it's like a step-by-step. You have a positive attitude. What your positive attitude will do, it'll create, you have a positive philosophy, your belief, essentially, you have a positive philosophy and belief about doing things. It's going to turn it into a positive attitude about how and why and while you're doing it, which will create a positive action, which will in turn create a positive result, creating a positive lifestyle. So I'll bear with me, and it'll make sense later on in the second part. So examples of life philosophy. So they gave a couple of examples. So this kind of derived from the Nike derived it from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, do the thing and you shall have the power. Okay. Thomas J. Watson said, the formula for success is quite simple, double your rate of failure. So these are life philosophies that you can put in before you even do anything, if you have this mental belief, this is going to apply to you in whatever you're doing. And Jim Quick, this is what I was listening to before when I was at the gym. He said, failure is not the opposite of success. It's actually part of it. Okay. It's a feedback to your success. So whenever you hear a lot of people, they go, failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Dude, that's not a good way to have a good philosophy, because now you're afraid of failure. Now you're afraid to try, when you should be doubling your failure so you can get to success quicker, because it's a part of success. So you see that belief, that mind state switch as a paradigm shift that's going to make you have a different attitude on your actions. So let's go into it. So creating a new philosophies for the field and dialing. So what is our current philosophy, our current attitude, and our actions with dialing? So I had the conversation with Delise too, because like I have, to be honest, a mental barrier with it. Okay, so I figured I know how to do it. I can teach people how to do it. So how come I don't do it? Okay, so there's something going on that I have that prevents me from doing it, even though I'm great at it. I could say I'll be great at it, but if I don't do anything about it, it doesn't matter if you're great. If you don't do it, you don't shoot the shot, it doesn't matter, right? So that's something to overcome. Okay, and then I have things I can fix in place for that. So what could be your mental barrier on that? What's stopping you from starting, right? So past poor performances, okay, we can have this issue where, you know, we got beat up too much. You know, we have a fear of embarrassment. We've had a burnout from dialing so much. We get this a lot from like veteran agents, that they feel like they feel a little bit entitled. They've done the dirt. They don't want to do it anymore. But if you had that mental bad philosophy that you're over, you know, it's under you now with dialing, you're not going to be successful in this business now, right? Because now you feel entitled about it instead of providing a service when you're dialing. So my situation would be like poor focus. Like I felt like dialing is monotonous. It's too long, so I'm not having fun. Okay, so I don't have the confidence in it because I don't see the fun in it. Some people, they are just scared because they have the uncertainty. They don't know what to respond, so they don't have the skill. Some people are afraid of failure, afraid of rejection. You know, they have a negative self-talk. So all of these things are creating anxiety for them. They feel like they're going to get judged. They don't want to be on Zoom. They don't want to go on video. Okay, so they could be having way too many emotions happening, rather than just go with the Nike philosophy of just do it, you know, do the thing and you're going to have the power. You're short on power because you're not doing the thing, because you're having all these bad philosophies about things, about the calling. So starting with this, before you even dial, if you had a negative philosophy about dialing, how excited are you going to be? How will your attitude be about dialing? Okay. It's like when your mom tells you to throw out the trash, how excited are you about throwing the trash? You're going to do it, but you're not going to do it happily, right? You're going to have a bad attitude because it took the time out of your day. So if you see it kind of like throwing the trash, you see dialing as a monotonous errand, it's not going to be fun. And if it's not going to be fun, you're going to try to distract yourself away from dialing. And if you distract yourself away from dialing, guess what? You're not going to have the best results. You're not going to have the best response, and you're probably not going to make a lot of money, right? So what we have to do before we even learn how to dial, before we even how to teach, here's the script, here's the rebuttals and the objections. We got to start with the why. We got to switch it, and we got to say and create a lot of positive philosophies, a lot of positive beliefs first on why we should be dialing. Okay, so identify what you're missing, and we need to flip your script on that. What is causing you from not wanting to dial? Okay, what is causing you from not wanting to go in the field or present? So I thought a few. Hopefully you guys can add to this, because it was kind of hard to like recreate a mental positive belief. But I feel like after watching Jason this morning, you can really see the difference on how much he's having fun. He is scripted, but he has an excitement about him when he dials that he's bringing back to the client. He's trying to get the client to laugh too. So it becomes a new conversation for him. So instead of having I need to do this to make money, think about the positive philosophy of, you know, you get to help new people and learn about them. So it's a new conversation, it's a new meeting. Okay. These are new opportunities to make income. Okay. So if you look at the philosophy or the numbers, right? If you book 4, you get no showed by 2, you sell a 50% sale, that means you make $1,000. Okay. What a simple philosophy to just say book 4, make 1,000. Okay. If I started off with that philosophy saying book 4, make 1,000, I'm going to be excited. I'm not going to say, I got to dial 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. today. Right. So just have this mindset, book 4 and you're going to make 1,000. Book 8, you're going to make 2,000. Okay. Have the philosophy of the faster you get to your 15 appointments, the faster you're going to be done with your calls, the faster you're going to have more freedom and time. So more appointments equals more freedom. What if you can book your 30 appointments, 15 appointments each day, like what Terrence is doing, in 2 days? So we could be possibly thinking on the positivity of the expansive mindset of, let me do a great Monday phone dial session. I get 30 appointments, 15 each on Tuesday, Wednesday. I can make my income goal and hit it, and I'll be off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday if I wish. I could stack to this, or I can earn more freedom. Okay. So going into that, earning freedom and making money. So now you got to look at it like dialing is a necessity, not a luxury. You want to be dialing. Okay. It's not a luxury to just dial when you want to. You need to make the money that you want in this business. So from that last standpoint, I go back to this with my philosophy now. You don't got to do it, but you won't make any money if you don't. So now this is like a kick in the butt, the last kind of thing you tell your kid, right? Like, yo, you don't got to do it. You don't got to take out the trash. You're not going to eat tomorrow. You don't got to do it right now, but I'm going to beat you up. So you got to beat yourself up. You don't got to do the calls, but then you're not going to make money if you don't. Anybody else have any input you guys want to add to this? Any positive philosophy that you think about before you dial? And hopefully it's an easy concept, but it's really like it's hard to imagine. Like, this is really scientific, man. Like, things go in our brain that if it's not broken down, you're like, shit. No wonder I'm not effective. No wonder I'm not what do you call it? What John Wedmore always had it where he said, you know, are you taking all day to dial, or are you dialing all day? You know, no wonder I'm not getting my results, right? So on the Jim Kwik, I just wanted to finish off on this, and got a few more minutes. Jim Kwik, he had a special guest on. It's similar, but not, on one of his podcasts. It was about the placebo effect, and I'm going to bring it up on my notes real quick. And then it came back to, you know, taking placebos from a medicine to real medicine, and then going into the mental image. Like, you can create your own placebo effect into your mind. And so one of the guys that was on his call, he was an avid rock climber. Okay. And rock climbing is rock climbing, but there's people that can keep climbing, and they're super strong, right? So he said there's 3 enemies of climbing. So same thing into this business. He said the 3 enemies of climbing is exhaustion, you got your fear, and you got your negativity. Like, you could probably climb a lot, right? But if you start fearing and you have your negativity, you're thinking about falling, yeah, you're probably going to stop right away, right? So people are good climbers. They have great expectations of positivity. Okay, so you got to look at your great expectation of your outcome of your dialing. So he talked about a little bit about, you know, before you start, have a little bit of a ritual. Okay, what's your ritual? Okay, so what is your positive mindset before you start? Okay, am I picturing, okay, I have a game plan, I'm going to go dial. My goal is to make 1,000 dials. My goal is to have 10 appointments, 15 appointments, 20 appointments. Okay, so you're psyching yourself up, and all these little mini rituals will help you get to a positive outlook into things. Okay, so set some external expectations. You want to visualize, you want to write it down, and at least you're coming in to attack the day, right? Instead of just coming in to be in the moment and do what you can. And then hopefully you look at your clock and say, the clock, time to go home. Right? So that's pretty much it. But hopefully it helps, because yeah, I was reviewing why. I'm like, you know, I've done this for so many times. I don't have an issue with dialing. but I do have an issue with starting with my dials because, you know, I don't see it as fun. So how do we fix being fun? So I was telling this to Talise, I was having a conversation with her. You know what's really effective for me? I have an issue if I go and dial on my own because I don't have anyone to watch, and I'll probably distract myself. But I'm really good at having someone dial next to me, and I could teach them and I could show them that it's not that big of a deal, and I could be in motion because I have someone to be accountable for. And that's what these calls and these dials going back and what we should be doing, because we want to be accountable, not just for us, but having that camaraderie. And at least, you know, hey, you know, you want to escape it, but other people are also working. So it shows that, yeah, this is part of the business. You know, you don't got to do it, but if you won't make money if you don't. Okay. So anybody else have any input? Feel free to chat. Let me, this is going to be saved on the meeting. So if you guys have agents that have the same issue, you guys having agents having a difficulty time starting, this is going to be a real good topic to go over. And then make sure to share them the same thing. So this is the book, The Slight Edge, the missing ingredient. It's just 3 pages that I put in there. And then specifically, he had a little cool icon in here. So your philosophy will create your attitude. Okay. And then your attitude will create your actions, and your positive actions will create your results. So we're going to go into the 2 o'clock now. It's kind of funny too, because with Albert, he asked me to go on the call today with them. And he said, yeah, we're going to talk about changes. I was like, oh, that's funny, because like changes happen with the philosophy. So it kind of goes back into our specific topic that we're having. So I'm gonna upload this for anyone missing. I'm gonna put it on the YouTube channel. I've been lagging on that. I got like Thompson's call, but the rest of the good ones I haven't been able to. Anybody have any last inputs? I know Ernest was saying something on the chat. You're rewarding yourself with a cookie.
Yeah, I think that matters. Like giving a reward or a consequence, it always helps me. So when I don't do it, I get the consequence, and then I really don't want the consequence. So I already, you know, so I gotta redo that, because I was giving myself like a sweet, but I was gaining weight, so I got to not do that. You know what I mean? Because I love sweets. I'm a sweets guy. Okay. And then I agree with everything you just mentioned. They pick up on the energy, the tonality, everything. It's not just the script. So like mindset has everything to do with it. That's why the people that are making the money they're making, it's because they're doing it so much, and it's not even the script, although they're on the script like crazy. I've heard Jack over and over, you know, from the other call, and he's, you know, he does it slowly and he goes through and he's like answering their questions you know, deliberately, but he sounds very like an expert, you know. He knows what he's saying, but he's, you know, saying it with a lot of energy behind him and tonality. So just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, so if there's anybody have any issues or concerns, let us know. But yeah, we're gonna start joining the Join Elite dials on Mondays and Thursdays, just to bring in a camaraderie for us. I think it's really gonna help out, because I felt like when I was looking at it, it's like I think a lot of the agents, as big as of a team that we are, it felt like everyone's on their own. Everyone's just dialing on their own. There's no main point. So it's either we complain about it or we got to change it, and let's be the one that's gonna make the changes. Okay, so we're gonna be joining the 2 o'clock call. Lonnie, did you have something to say?
Yeah, what's going to be the Zoom link for that dial sessions for the Monday and Thursday?
It's the one we put on GroupMe. It's that joinelitedials.com.
Okay.
Password is 20K. So we were on that this morning. We're gonna jump back in it after the 2 o'clock.
All right.
Cool. All right, I'll see you guys.